possible unintended consequences of the Obama administration turning loose those illegal aliens down south. And I'm sure there was, among them was some drug lords, drug-related fellas, and the killings that's been going on across America, the DAs in Colorado and other places. And I was wondering what your theory is about
sort of lawlessness. Okay, Eric, we'll talk about it and we'll let you listen on the radio.
Thanks, Eric.
Kirby, any thoughts on that? I don't want to get us too far afield of our topic here, which we're talking about persecution of Christians, but...
No, but I think I can connect the two, and that is, the idea of losing our religious liberty is in part a desire to change our legal system so that saying things about Christianity, expressing your religion, having religious symbols would be considered to be wrong. And it kind of ties back to what Brenda said just a minute ago. In Isaiah 5, it talks about a nation, that was the southern kingdom, that called evil good and good evil. Well, right now we have this situation where there is more and more lawlessness in America. And yesterday I had Representative Louis Gohmert in studio, who, by the way, is a Christian, and I'd have no problem having him speak in my Sunday school class and really has stood up for biblical principles and paid a price, just as Ben Carson has recently. But he was pointing out that we have such lawlessness from the government right now, unwillingness to enforce certain kinds of laws. We've had the decision by the president not to enforce the Defense of Marriage Act, a decision to allow people, in this case that Eric's talking about, that were actually going to be deported to just be allowed to come back into the communities. And so I do believe that there is a connection, because once you no longer start with Judeo-Christian principles and the rule of law, once you begin to compromise on that, it makes it much easier, I think, to persecute Christians, and it also leads to a higher level of lawlessness and even kind of social anarchy, which is what we're seeing right now.
Well, and Kirby, one more quick thought on that, and want to hear what you say, because you live in Texas and you guys see a lot more of this than we do here. But as you see that, and as the amnesty has been floated for the illegal aliens and some of the other things that are going on there, they are being shipped home just to be shipped back. And in some cases, they're not being shipped anywhere. They're simply being released.
They're being released, and catch and release is great for fly fishing, but catch and release is not a real good idea for your immigration policy. And again, I can just refer to the conversations I've had on radio over the last 3 days on this issue of immigration, and where we have cameras on the borders, I'll use Texas, but you can use New Mexico, California, Arizona, whatever, where you can actually sometimes see the people coming across. We can count the numbers, then we can find out how many of those people we actually do catch. We can also see the number that are coming over with bundles on their back, which look like drugs. And we also can see in those cameras how many of them have high-powered weapons. And it doesn't take long to realize that we are not catching a high percentage of people that come across that border, and we're not stopping the movement of drugs and guns into this country from these drug lords. So this is of concern, even apart from the whole issue of what we do with the people that are here illegally. What do we do with the so-called 11 million? I think it's more than 11 million, but I'll use the number, 11 million illegal immigrants. We've got a bigger issue, and that has to do with border security, and that, again, is illustrated by just some of the facts and figures and numbers.
Right. Kirby, we've got to take a break. Hold it right there. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio.